Alright, so this is me. I'm Kellen Young. Uh, yeah, that's right. Kellen, Kellen, Morse Young. It's a family name, if you ever get it. Uh, uh, Next question. Do you have a nickname? I have two nicknames, one of which actually exists, and the other of which I keep in my head for all time. Technically, I'm also known as Kenneth half the time because of an old English teacher, who never, well, he knows my name now, but he kind of didn't know it then, so he just called me that, and it caught on. I also refer to myself as Dr. Young because I'm kind of a Whovian, and I like medical stuff. I'm 16, youngest person in the grade, and I get dogged on because of my name, Young. Yeah, that that happens a lot. I have two siblings. One is 9, and she lives with me. She's my sister, and the other is actually 32, and he is a brother who lives in New York. Mm. Yeah, so he's pretty far away, but we keep in touch. Technically, I'm from San Diego, but I moved very, very early in my life to Charlotte, North Carolina, and then again to Memphis, Tennessee when I was about 7. So I've lived in a couple of places, multiple different regions, I guess. Uh, right now I'm playing soccer, but I've got a history in multiple sports. I was pretty athletic back in the day. Do you have any hobbies? Actually, yes. Surprising that I can have a online sort of like life and not have actual hobbies, and actually have hobbies. But anyway, I'm part of the Renegades of Rhythm, which is sort of like a marching drum line, and we get free tickets to Grizzlies basketball games. Yeah, that was nice. I'm really into the gaming. The gaming's it's a good way to pass the time. Uh, in truth, I'm a little bit more artistic than most of the people I know. Some of them are really good, but overall, I like to do a lot of stuff other than play the drums and some stuff like that. I also write short stories, novels, like to read and draw. I've even created my own music before. It's not that good, but on occasion, I can still listen to it and say that was a good song I made. My largest hobby is still going to be sleep, because that is important, and I will never, ever go a day without sleeping again, since like 3 years ago when it went downhill, because I was doing a project past like 3 a.m. Uh, hmm. If neither of the, never mind. What clubs or activities do you do? Technically, I am part of 3 tutoring centers. Lumberjack Club, which is sort of like a outdoorsy camping type of club, but we volunteer for food drives, stuff like that. It's sort of a social club, but at the same time it's service oriented as well. And I'm also part of the art club. So, that helps with a lot. History club and probably some other things I can't remember right now. But I'm the only junior who's in all 3 tutoring centers, so it's an accomplishment. My favorite color is gold, but I wear a lot of red because gold is a little bit too flamboyant, if that's what I may say, for me to wear, and I'm not putting myself out there like that just for people to stare at me typically. My favorite food slash dessert. Well, my favorite food's gonna be pizza. Try and moderate how much I have, but anytime there's pizza, it's devoured in minutes. Yeah, it's pretty good when it's great pizza. There's a place in New York where my dad's from. It's called Leonardi's. It's very unhealthy, and it's the best pizza I've ever had in my life, and I'm kind of a connoisseur, if I may say, or if I say so myself. Um, like I said, the dessert was ice cream, specifically chocolate chip cookie dough, and my family hates it, so I get all of it to myself when we buy some. My favorite book or book series is going to be Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and that entire series is probably my favorite, just to read over and over again, because it's always good. Favorite movie? I really like Sherlock Holmes' Game of Shadows, because I feel like I'm sort of that smart. We'll get into that later. But following stuff in that movie is really fun. I also really like Robert Downey Jr., so it sort of combines two great parts of films. Yeah. Favorite subject in school is going to be biology. Biology is very odd, but it's also very fun. Um, what else? My favorite song is going to be Single Life by Cameo. Probably none of my friends have actually heard it before. Hopefully they won't go and look it up after I say this, because they probably won't like it. And my favorite band is also Cameo, but Outcast, and that's actually spelled with a K instead of a C, is a close second, and Glue in the Gang is a close third. They probably never heard of Glue in the Gang either. Do you play an instrument? Uh, like I said, I played drums earlier, specifically the quads or quints slash tenors. Uh, I also used to play the piano, French horn, and I also played the guitar for about a month before I decided to quit. What do you want to be when you grow up? This is a tough one, because I know I love biology. I said that earlier about the subject in school, and I'm either going in the path of a medical physician or a zoologist because I absolutely love animals. You may notice the multiple animals behind me. And there, yeah, that one too. That's a whale rolled over. There's also sort of like, yeah, that's a snow leopard. It's my favorite animal. Anyway, uh, what country would you like to visit most? I'm going to say Australia, because I've always wanted a pet koala bear. I mean, the outback's nice too. It'd be nice to explore, but I've always wanted to see a koala bear and possibly take one home if they allow me. It'd also be nice to go to some mountains in Russia and look at a snow leopard, like I said. It's, wrong side. That. There we go. Right there. Good. Okay, name one object that makes you happy. It's really problematic, but I'm gonna go with my bed. Because I like sleep. It's good. And I haven't gotten as much as I should have. But that's okay. What is your greatest fear? I actually feel really bad when I think about losing my friends or family, like that sort of thing. I know you have to confront it, but that is technically my greatest fear in life right now. It's got something that's gonna happen, but I'll take the present before when it happens any day of the week. What is your most irrational fears? I hate zombies. Zombies. For all the medical stuff, I don't want to learn anything about a disease or mind control that can turn people into flesh-eating zombies, because it's not like I'm not too terrified of them. I've just seen what zombies look like with their skin and how like decomposed and messed up it is, and it's even more gruesome than regular dead skin, which I've seen before, and it's not okay. No, it's not happening. Whew. So, happy times. What is your favorite joke? Alright, so I heard this joke from a friend when I was about 3 years ago. It took a long time for me to understand it correctly. No, it didn't, but anyway. A guy is talking to uh, his best friend, and they're arguing about who really is man's best friend. One of them is married, and he has a wife, and he's saying that his wife is probably man's best friend. The other is not married and lives with his pet dog. Doesn't really matter which dog, but lives with his pet dog. And the man with the dog, they keeps arguing with the other one until he says one thing. If you want to know who is really a man's best friend, put your dog and your wife in the trunk of a car. Come back an hour later, open the trunk, and see which one is happy to see you. And that hit home for the next 30 minutes. That was great. It's still a little bit funny. Anyway, most embarrassing moment. I should really skip that. I should really skip that. Technically, I walked into the women's restroom before when I was about 10 at a college, and there were a lot of older people there, and I saw stuff I was not supposed to. Yeah. Continuing. Name of your oldest friend that you still keep in contact with today. Wow, this answer is probably gonna be repeated or something, but it's actually Jason, because for roughly, how long have I been at school? For almost 8 years, so probably 6 of those we've been friends, and really anyone who I was good friends with that before then has either left or our friendship is a little bit decomposed. And before then I was in North Carolina, so I just ended up destroying all my friends from there. Yeah, that was pretty sad because I moved. I kept in touch with one of them for a long time. He was probably my best friend. But it ended up not working out because long distance relationships are hard. Not that it was a relationship, it was just a friendship. That's all you need to know. I am definitely an introvert. I'm crazy, I don't say much, and I keep all that crazy in here. Smart but crazy. Monkey brains, that's what I call it. Monkey brains. Alright, the best prank I've ever pulled. I really can't remember the best one I've ever pulled, but I remember the latest one I've pulled. I recently impersonated Kalla on a chat with all of our Nerdfighter friends. Kalla actually never got on the chat, so for roughly 2 hours I was impersonating her and everyone talked to me like Kalla. I didn't tell them till the next morning, or I didn't tell most of them till the next morning, and they were a little bit upset at me. But Regan had her suspicions. She didn't know that I was Kalla, but she did know that, or she did think that wasn't the real Kalla. So I didn't completely fool her. What was my last birthday party? For my 16th birthday party, I was given cookies by Kalla, and we ate them at school. That was nice. And then I went to New Orleans, Louisiana, and Montgomery, Alabama for a while for some football games with the family. If you could learn on one language, what would you? I actually have traveled to Tanzania, and while I was there, I had no idea what the language was, so I just started learning Swahili because you're pretty much immersed in the language. And now I've forgotten it. I have a manual, but I don't have any reason to use it, so I'd really like to just learn Swahili and know it, get it done with. That would be nice.